need to name a shop El Gringo in Manhattan Beach.
Or
Redondo Beach.
because there's a lot of white people.
Yeah, but that's kind of, it's derogatory. That's like naming a Mexican restaurant, fucking El Beaner.
Yeah, but we're all white people.
I understand, but that's like naming a restaurant Beaner Town in fucking Gardena or some shit.
It's gonna be great to like sense of
Okay.
like.
Hey guys, welcome back to LA Bias. I'm Russell, this is Sasha, and yesterday we went and checked out the UCLA versus Stanford game, and oh man, was it a rough week for the city of Los Angeles. But thank you guys so much for checking out our second episode, and welcome to LA Bias.
I'm on my ballin' each and every day. Asian girls everywhere. UCLA. You see me, babe? You see me, babe? Asian girls everywhere. UCLA.
So this past weekend, USC played Utah at Utah, and UCLA played Stanford at the Rose Bowl. But we're gonna go ahead and start with USC versus Utah. And just SC knows how to play with my emotions so well. So first things first, we started Sam Darnold. We benched Max Brown at the beginning of the week. Clay Helton came out and said, yeah, we're gonna go with the redshirt freshman. We're gonna go ahead and sit the captain who we started for these first three games, which came to a lot of mixed reviews. Personally, I was kind of excited to see Sam Darnold play. I mean, it's just kind of cool to see just a dual threat quarterback behind SCA's offensive line, just this kid who could just sling the ball. But, you know, he went out there and honestly, I think he gave it his all. You know, he made a couple of just like first year mistakes. You know, there's a couple clock management, stuff like that. But, you know, any first year quarterback is going to make that mistake, whether it be just college or NFL.
Yeah,
but
Max Brown made them too.
Oh, yeah, Max Brown made the exact same mistakes. But, yeah, you know, he went out there, he slung the ball all over the field. People were making plays. You know, he finally was able to target Juju a couple more times. He got a couple of good PIs too, which was actually important for the game. But I mean, our running game just finally picked up.
Yeah,
I mean, it was fantastic. Our O-line finally they were finally able to get a push against a not too stellar Utah defensive line. I know they're supposed to be, but you have to look at who they've played throughout the year. I mean, they registered 10 sacks in San Jose State, but it's San Jose State, you know. But so I've got some of the stats here. I'm just thinking these numbers stand out to me so much. Justin Davis, right, our senior starting running back, 10 attempts, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, and a 50-yard touchdown. But guess what? Guess who did not play in the fourth quarter?
Justin Davis.
Yes, Justin Davis, for some reason, did not get a single rep in the fourth quarter. Not because he was hurt, not because he wasn't feeling well. No, T. Martin just said, oh, we had a rotation, and he just wasn't in it for some reason in the fourth quarter. And honestly, I just can't make excuses for these coaches anymore. Some of the stuff they do, it's ridiculous. And it seems like after every game, we have somebody asked Clay Helton, like, oh, why did you punt on this fourth down halfway through the fourth quarter when you guys are either down or you guys just need to hold on the ball? And he goes like, oh, it was just the right thing to do. I would do it again. And he does it again the next game. And he does it again the next game. And guess what? They end up losing each game. I think it gets to this point where, frankly, he just needs to make a change. Right now, he's on such a hot seat. Everyone's talking about who's going to be the next SC coach, and he's just not changing anything. You'd think that he would try to make a transition somewhere, somehow. But now we roll into pretty much the month of October, where pretty much every analyst said we were going to win out throughout October. And now I honestly don't really believe that anymore. Colorado ended up beating Oregon, looked fantastic. We have ASU this weekend, who put up a couple great fights this year. I mean, Arizona almost beat Washington last night. So all of a sudden, this easy month of October is not so easy, especially for my Trojans. So last night, we headed to the Rose Bowl to see the UCLA versus Stanford matchup, which, honestly, in my opinion, probably should have been college game day, because that was just a hard-hitting, just intense style game. Little did we know it was going to turn into an SEC game.
It was the SEC type game that a lot of game day games turn out to be. really hard-nosed, really just power running from both sides. One side had a lot more success in the power running scheme, but other than that, we did a really good job of just kind of shutting down McCaffrey. I don't want to say shutting down because he's still at 130 yards rushing, but
yeah,
considering what he can do and what he has done against us before, it was a really good day.
That's still 100 yards less rushing from last year. I mean, that improvement is against any other team, any other running back, that usually is enough to stop them. But
we broke his streak of consecutive 200-yard all-purpose games.
Very
so
true. Which is, hey.
we came out and we decided we wanted to start McCaffrey, and kind of ended up working. Stanford's offense only had 9 points throughout, 59 minutes of a 60-minute game. So
yeah, pretty much.
That's defense did its job, and it was waiting on the offense to make plays, and it just did not happen. The running game just never got off, never started clicking, and that's been a problem for weeks now. And something has to change when it comes to the running game. Either changing the running backs, changing which way they're running, how they're running, just the scheme in general, probably.
Yeah, and then like your passing game as well. You know, there was a couple glimpses, just like
Passing game actually did really well. There was only one like really missed opportunity where Rosen overthrew Jordan Lastly. Both guys kind of hesitated. Rosen overthrew him a little. Lastly kind of alligator armed it. It was just.
That's very true.
It just wasn't. There were plays to make. Rosen also missed somebody in the end zone who was wide open. Settled for a field goal right there. And those are the points you just can't leave on the board against a team like Stanford.
Oh yeah, and the drops.
Yeah, the drops. Ish Adams needs to be just some kind of discipline needs to be made against just dropping a crucial third down like that to pretty much, I don't want to say seal the game, but if we get close enough there, we make a field goal. It's either a 1 possession or 2 possession game, and you need to be in the lead against Stanford.
Especially in a game where there were 13 points at halftime.
Yeah, 13.
I mean, like, it was such a low scoring game. Those little things matter so much, especially against Stanford. You guys almost dethroned them. Almost dethrone these just Pac-12 champions.
And not to get away from Ish for just 1 second, he also had a muff punt on our last drive. And if he actually muffed it and lost it, I would have lost it at the Rose Bowl. That guy, you can't drop a third down catch, but you can't muff a punt on your potential last drive of the game to seal it against Stanford.
But then speaking of the Rose Bowl, y'all UCLA fans came out.
Oh yeah,
I mean, we've been to the Rose Bowl a couple times, like many times, really. I've never seen the Rose Bowl that crowded. I mean, at least 80,000 people.
And it got loud. It got really loud.
And that stadium's not really meant to be that loud. You know, there are a lot of these stadiums that are like, they call seismic activity just because of how it's built. The Rose Bowl isn't like that.
Yeah.
But it was just insane. Y'all came out and supported your team. You know, at the end, it just was not quite enough. Stanford they just did the stereotypical Stanford 2-minute last drive that goes and wins the game, whether it be Kevin Hogan or Ryan Burns.
I'm convinced Kevin Hogan actually just put on a mask and a Ryan Burns jersey and just came out and took it to our defense on the last drive.
Oh yeah, I mean, just in general, it's a very rough week for Los Angeles college football. I mean, so like I said earlier, SC loses to Utah in the last 16 seconds of the game. Utah puts together a great drive. I definitely does not expose Dory, but I mean, they definitely started to pick on him at the end of the game, especially after an amazing punt return he has. He's on fire. He has a couple great plays, but then at the end of the game, they just kind of started to figure it out. I mean, you put this 6'5" receiver on him.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, when you got a DB who's my height, you can't really defend a 6'5" receiver.
I might have put that on the defensive coordinator as well, because Dory was just playing 10 yards off on every play towards the end. And you really can't play that way at the end of the game.
Just did not work out, and that was so heartbreaking. We needed this win. I mean, our coaches needed this win, or oh boy, that's a nice Ferrari. But so very rough week for Los Angeles football. SC plays ASU next week. We're gonna be at that game. We're gonna show you some footage from that next week. Yesterday we went around Westwood, got some cookies, because frankly, after a loss like that, you need some cookies. But thank you guys so much for checking out our second episode, and we will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Right? And I just need to make it so I can see both of us. Even though it could just be me. I mean, we all know what the people want to see, am I right?